Are you prepared for the unexpected? COVID has shown many of us that maybe we're not as prepared as we hoped. Life continues to throw us many curveballs, which can create stress and even financial ruin. But being prepared can help prevent all of this disaster. On today's coffee break, Franco Papalia will share a few tips on how to plan ahead. Franco, what are the main surprises or unexpected events that you see people dealing with on a regular basis?
Thank you, Sybil. You know, we all have expectations of how our lives should turn out, but there's always something that pops up and messes with our plans. Sometimes it's a financial issue, like the loss of a job. Most commonly, it's an emotional blow, like an illness, divorce, or the loss of a loved one.
Yeah, and those events not only take their toll on us emotionally, but often can roll over into the financial implications side. So what is the big impact this has on people's lives?
Well, first off, it has a huge emotional impact. That's one of the main things, but I'd like to share a story with you that speaks to why it's so important to have your financial documents in place. Stories about a young family with 3 children. The husband was a 50-50 business owner in a very strong, thriving business. The wife had a long-standing career in the medical profession. Everything was great until age 52. The husband had a massive, fatal heart attack.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and so it was a huge emotional blow to the family, but not only that, there was big financial stress on top of that because the financial documents, the estate documents, were not in place. Number one, there was no will in place.
And yikes, that's a disaster.
Huge, and because there was no will in place, it's mandatory for the public trustee to step in and distribute the estate assets. In this case, there were minor children, and so some of the assets were placed in trust with the minor children. Also, because there was no buy-sell agreement in place with the husband's business partner, there was no mechanism in place to fairly divide the assets, and so the family ended up receiving less than 50% of the value of the business. This is not the intention a loving, hardworking husband would have intended.
No, and I can see both the emotional and the financial implications. That's a great story to share. Not a great story to hear, but a great example of why it's important to think ahead and prepare. So, Franco, what can people do to prepare, to better prepare?
Well, Sybil, it's really important to have an emergency bank account in place. Number 2, you want to have the right insurance coverage. And number 3, you want to have a financial plan and estate plan that covers both your personal affairs and your business affairs. The most important aspect of that is actually to have it in writing and have something you can refer to and refer to when things go offside.
Well, that's great advice, Franco. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And that's some good action items for people to follow up on. And viewers, if you enjoyed this and want to learn more, check out thewealthylife.com. And that's our coffee break. See you next time.